In this video, we are going to be evaluating expressions involving integers multiplication, all right? If you do not remember how to multiply integers, I suggest that you go back to the previous video and watch how to multiply integers. So, in order for you to evaluate expressions, you need to use Gemdas, the order of operation. So, the order of operation, it states that you need to first do any grouping symbol. Remember that grouping symbols can be parentheses, it can also be brackets, or it can also be braces, okay? So they are just symbols that group different operations in between them, okay? After solving whatever is inside the grouping symbol, you need to do exponents. For example, 2 to the power of 5. This number right here is called the exponent, okay? Then you do either multiplication or division. As they are inverse operation, you can switch the order of these two, whatever happens from left to right, okay? The same with addition, then goes addition or subtraction. As addition and subtraction are inverse operation, you can switch the order of them as well. Okay? So you need to keep that in mind. I know that some of you remember the order of operation by using the acronym PEMDAS, because the P was for parentheses. But now, as we're going to be involving other grouping symbols, it's a good idea that you move away from PEMDAS and use Gemdas instead, because the G will talk about any other grouping symbol besides a parenthesis. So let's take a look at this example first. So remember that in order for you to evaluate this expression, you need to follow the order of operation, which is Gemdas. That's what we're going to use, okay? Let me write it down here in case that you forgot. So, according to the order of operation, I need to do what's inside the parentheses first, okay? Inside the parentheses, I have an addition, okay? So remember that when you are adding integers with different signs, you actually subtract their absolute value and keep the sign of the greatest absolute value. In this case, 4 minus 3 is 1. And my answer will be positive 1 because 4 has the greatest absolute value. I'm going to put 1 in between parentheses because here there's no sign or anything, which means that I need to multiply, okay? So I'm going to bring down any other number and symbol that I have in use. Then I need to take a look at this. Well, there's a multiplication here and there's an addition here. So according to the order of operation, multiplication should come first. So negative 6 times 1, remember, if they have different signs, my answer will be negative. So negative 6 times 1 is negative 6 plus positive 6. So now you need to bring down the other signs and numbers that you didn't use. So I am just adding here, remember, different signs, subtract. So negative 6 plus 6, it is 6 minus 6. So my final answer has to be 0. Pause the video and try to do this one by yourself. Remember that you need to use the order of operation. In this case, we're using Gemdas for you to remember which operation should go first. Pause the video and try to do it. Very good. So, some of my students sometimes get confused thinking, oh, I need to start with a grouping symbol. Yes, this is a grouping symbol, but there's not an operation inside. This parenthesis, the only purpose of this parenthesis right now is for me to know that this is a negative number, okay? And as I have another operation here, I need to put that number in between parentheses, okay? So that doesn't mean that I need to do this one first. No, okay? So the first thing that I need to do in this case has to be multiplication, okay? Negative 5 times positive 3, remember, different signs, my answer will be negative. So negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15. Now I'm going to bring down the other symbol and number that I haven't used, okay? Again, this is multiplication. When I am multiplying and they have the same sign, my answer is positive. So negative 15 times negative 2 is positive 30. There you go. Pause the video and try to do this example by yourself. Remember that we're using the order of operation in order for you to evaluate this expression. We're using Gemdas for you to remember. Go ahead. Very good. So in here is pretty easy because I only have multiplication. You see multiplication here, multiplication here. So I am going to start from left to right. So it will be negative 5 times negative 7. Remember, if they have the same sign, my answer will be positive. So 5 times 7 or negative 5 times negative 7 is equals to positive 35. Then I'm going to bring down the other symbol and number that I didn't use. So in this case, remember, if this is empty, it is multiplication. So now I need to do 35 times negative 20, which is equals to negative 700. Okay? Different signs, my answer will be negative. All right. Now that you learned how to evaluate expressions involving multiplication of integer, I would like to show you this. As you remember from the beginning, I told you that this is the exponent. This is called the exponent. Please don't tell me the little number on top. No. Use mathematical vocabulary, okay? So this is called the exponent, and this number right here is called the base. Okay, the exponent is pretty much the boss. He tells you how many times you need to repeat yourself. So in this case, I need to repeat the base 4 times. So it will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is, very good, 16. So 2 to the power of 4, it is 16. Let's take a look at these examples in here. As you can see, the base has either a parenthesis and a sign or just a sign outside. So let's use an analogy for you to remember this. As you know, T-Rex was a very powerful dinosaur. So I want you to imagine the exponent as being T-Rex. As you can see, T-Rex has very short arms, okay? So T-Rex can hold the parentheses and the sign. So I am going to repeat negative 2 twice, all right, because of the exponent. So I do negative 2 times negative 2. You see, T-Rex was able to hold the whole parentheses and the sign was just stick to the parentheses, right? So I do negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4, because when you multiply integers with the same sign, your answer will be positive, okay? In this case, T-Rex has a little problem because he cannot reach this sign. So this sign will be left outside, behind, okay? So I'm just going to do positive 2 times positive 2, which is equals to, let me bring down this sign that I didn't use, 2 times 2 is 4. So my answer is negative 4. So when the negative sign is in between the parentheses, I need to multiply it with everything, with the parentheses and the sign. So it will be negative 2 times negative 2 because T-Rex was able to hold the parentheses and the sign was stick to the parentheses. In this case, T-Rex wasn't able to hold, to grab this sign. So I'm just going to leave it outside. So it will be negative, positive 2 times positive 2. Bring down the sign, okay? And my answer will be negative 4. We're going to do several examples. We're going to be evaluating expressions where you will see examples like these. So if you haven't understand that yet, don't worry. You're going to have enough practice. So let's see. Here I have negative 5 to the power of 2 times 4. Remember that T-Rex cannot hold this sign. So I'm just going to leave it outside. So it will be positive 5 times positive 5, only 2 times because of the exponent is 2. Then I'm going to bring down the other sign and the other number. So bring down the sign. 5 times 5 is 25 times 4. So now I have negative 25 times 4, which is 100. But hold on. Remember, when I am multiplying and they have different signs, just like here, this is negative and this is positive, my product will be negative. So my final answer, it is negative 100. Pause the video and try to do this example by yourself. Remember that in this case, T-Rex is able to grab the parentheses and the sign is pasted, is glued with these parentheses. So keep the sign and the parentheses with you. All right, so let's do negative 2 times. I'm going to put the brackets here, okay? And I'm going to do negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. As you can see, I am repeating the base 3 times because of the exponent is 3, okay? So let me bring this down that I haven't used it yet, and I'm going to do negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 because when I'm multiplying integers with the same sign, my product, my answer will be positive. So it will be positive 9 times negative 3. Let me close my brackets. Let's bring down this number that I haven't used, negative 2 times 9 times negative 3. Remember that when I am multiplying integers with different signs, my product, my answer will be negative. So I'll put this in between parentheses. 9 times 3 is 27. So it will be negative 27. Now I have two integers with the same sign. So I just need to multiply 2 times 27, and my answer will be 54. Okay? Positive 54, because I am multiplying integers with the same sign. Both of them are negative. So my answer is positive 54. Pause the video and try to do this one by yourself. Please remember, our T-Rex cannot grab these signs, so you need to leave it outside. Very good. So I'm going to bring this down. I cannot do it yet. I'm going to leave the sign outside. And I'm going to do 8 times 8 because of the exponent is 2, okay? So I'm going to do 5, bring it down, bring down this sign. 8 times 8 is 64. And now I have a subtraction here. Remember that when I'm subtracting integers, you need to bring down the first integer and then add the opposite of the second one. As the second integer is positive 64, the opposite of positive 64 is negative 64. When I am adding integers with different signs, I need to subtract. So 64 minus 5 is 59. Remember that when you are adding and they have different signs, you subtract and you keep the sign of the greatest absolute value, which is negative 64. So my final answer will be negative 59.